Well, here we are. This is the very first Talking with Tad on our interview series. And we are so delighted to be able to have one of the best speakers to be with us, and somebody that has done so much for our state, for our country. And he is one that has been the state chairman for the Republican Party. He has worked at the White House. He has worked at the Republican National Headquarters. And now he is back in Texas, and he is working with Senator Cornyn and also helping at the Republican headquarters. Who am I talking about? But Steve Munisteri, one of the best, who you see here on the screen. And tonight, right now, what we're going to do is ask Steve to elaborate on a special project he's been working on that has really been getting a lot of people excited about it, and that's TenK for 10 Rs. Now, let me just say this before you start talking, Steve, is that the 10K does not mean you have to run a 10K. It's a whole different direction, and it's a lot of fun to talk about. So, Steve, I want you to tell us, how did you come up with this brilliant idea, and also to tell us how we can get involved with this. But before you say anything, Steve, just wait a minute. He has some fun facts to share with us at the very end. So I want you to stay till the very end so you hear something fun that Steve did in his life. So Steve Munisteri, why don't you take it over and tell us about the 10K for 10 Rs?
Well, thank you, Tony Ann, and appreciate you inviting me. So when I came back to Texas and we were looking at the 2018 results, we noticed that there were two major groups of voters that we thought as a party we could do better turning out. Now, the first group of voters are those that are already registered but didn't vote. So there's 7.5 million of those. So you figure Republicans, if we get about half that share, that's 3.7 million. But there's another group that's equally important that the Democrats have been focusing on, and those are unregistered voters. And within those, Republicans are the ones that we want to try to register. So we calculated, and there's somewhere around 2.8, 2.9 million unregistered voters. So then we worked to try to identify how many of those really were ours. And what we determined, with the help from the RNC, which gave us a list of interstate movers, which are folks that move from California or Florida or states like that. But I know that gets people nervous when they hear folks from California moving in. But these are our folks. These are folks that voted Republican in California. So we took those lists with what we call intrastate movers, which are Republicans that voted in Republican primaries but moved in their county. And then we added to that a list of new voters, and using consumer data, we gave them a score from 0 to 9. And we only focused in on the R9s originally. And that resulted in a list of 880,000.
Wow.
Now, recently, since we've already contacted some of these voters as much as 7 times, we've now expanded to what we call R7s and R8s. Well, lo and behold, when we did that, the overall list is now expanded to over 1,100,000 potential Republicans.
Oh my God.
So our job is, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
So, sure. so our job is to register them, Tony Ann, and then we just need to make sure they go vote.
Well, that is awesome. I mean, that's a huge challenge. Who are you asking to get involved to help you do this? You can't do it by yourself, obviously. So who are those people that are getting involved?
Well, Tony, and as you mentioned, 10K for a 10R does not stand for running for a 10-kilometer race. Although it just goes to show, sometimes you think you're being cute and you come up with the slogan, which I came up with 10K for 10R. And then I had a number of women at the Texas Federation for Republican Women's Convention tell me, Steve, I'd love to volunteer, but I just can't run that 10 kilometers. And that's true. So I explain that 10K stands for 10,000 volunteers we're looking for to be responsible to register 10 new Republicans.
Oh, good.
And our overall goal is 100,000. Now we're already up to about 86,000. So we just need everybody's help to push that final way.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're using the Texas Federation of Republican Women. Are you bringing in also the young Republicans or any of these other groups that are willing to help, or are you just asking volunteers to come in and help us get President Trump reelected and all these other Republicans in the whole state?
Well, Tony Ann, first we'd love everybody's help. And what we're trying to do is systematically reach Republicans who would like to volunteer. So the first place that was logical first step was, rather than reinvent the wheel, we knew the Texas Federation for Republican Women already had over 150 clubs. At the time we started working with them, they had 6,700 members. So the idea was to work with TFRW so they would grow their membership and then ask their members to volunteer. That program has been very successful. I just talked to TFRW staff today, and maybe I'm taking some of Glennis's thunder, but their current membership list looks like it's going to be over 11,000 in terms of renewals. And so we're very excited about that.
Well,
so
Steve, I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue on. I apologize.
So I was just going to say, so then the next logical step was young Republicans, and we've asked them for help, and then we even hired some of them before the coronavirus hit to work in certain areas. And then we reached out to the Young Conservatives of Texas. So we got their help.
Wow.
And in the last couple of months, we've partnered with the Texas Republican Chairman Associations. So now we're providing them the same type of help we provided TFRW. So bottom line, Tony Ann, all hands on deck. Everybody's welcome. And if we all work hard together, we will reelect the president. We will reelect Senator Cornyn. We're going to keep the Texas House. We're going to keep the Texas Senate. And most importantly, we're going to keep this state Republican.
Awesome. I love hearing that. And as you can see on here too, on the one screen, it says that you can text 10K to 72000 and sign up today while we're doing this. Now, remember in the beginning when I talked to you about a fun fact that Steve was going to share with us? Well, it's time now, Steve, for you to share with us a fun fact about you that's going to put a smile on everybody's face. What is that fun fact you have?
Well, Tony, and a lot of people know I used to own a company in the professional boxing and sports business. But most people assume that meant acting as a lawyer. In reality, I was actually one of the fellows you would see in the corner on HBO or Showtime work in the fighter's stool. And I hate to say this, but the spit bucket and the towel. And in addition to that, sometimes I was asked to be the ring announcer. So I would do things like say, ladies and gentlemen, now introducing fighting out of the Texas Federation for Republican Women's Stable, the fighting Republican, the undefeated, undisputed champion, Tony Ann DeShield.
That was good. I love that. That is a great story. They're going to love hearing that. Steve, you have been just awesome for us. I tell you, we are so blessed to have you part of the party, to have all the work you do in it, and have the fun that you have also. So thank you so much for being on our our Talking with Tad series, the first one. We just can't thank you enough, and I hope that we end up getting volunteers to help reach the goals that you guys have set. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Tony Ann. Thank you for signing up people for the project. And a big, big thank you to the Texas Federation for Republican Women. The truth is, we would not be where we are today in terms of registrations if the leadership of TFRW hadn't embraced this project. So the party in our state will be forever grateful to TFRW, and I am very grateful.
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. And so this is going to conclude our first Talking with Tad, so I hope that you've enjoyed it and you can share it with others, and we will be back next week with another Talking with Tad. Thank you.